Do you want to know what my one biggest regret is since moving to Saudi? It's the fact that I didn't learn the Arabic language sooner. I've now been here for 5 years and I've only been learning for about the last 11 months. If I had started sooner, I could not imagine how much further along I would have been. But we live and we learn. So I'll show you now one of the first lessons that I had. My mind was blown.
حرف fa.
Okay.
Fa.
Yeah. Fa.
حرف
Fa.
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 حرف fa.
Yeah.
حرف kaf. حرف kaf.
Cool. Perfect. Perfect. Great.
And I'll show you where I'm roughly at now.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام، كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله تمام بخير، كيف حالك؟
كل شيء تمام.
ايش الاخبار؟
رجعت من دبي.
كيف كانت السفرة؟
انبسطت بوقتي في دبي. أكلت أكل جديد وجربت مطاعم مختلفة، بس كل شيء مرة غالي. الحين ما عندي أي فلوس، لازم أحتاج أشتغل.
ايوه راحت الفلوس.
إيش كمان؟ أكيد تمرنت في النادي جديد. حتى لما أسافر دايما أتمرن. لازم إذا ما أتمرن أصير مرة حزين.
Just a couple of weeks ago, I actually gave an interview on NBC One about my journey learning Arabic, which was pretty cool.
السلام عليكم.
السلام.
كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله.
Yes. أنا هنا.
كتاب حرف التاء. Why does it look like a smiley face?
هذول الكلمتين هما مرة صعبة لما أحاول أقولهم.
يا هلا وسهلا ومساكم الله بالنور والسرور. قهوة اليوم مع بيتر كامينسكي. من هو بيتر؟ بريطاني مقيم في جدة ل5 سنوات، حب المدينة، حب البلد، وحب أيضا اللغة. تعالوا أعرفكم على قصته على كوب قهوة. يا هلا وسهلا، كيفك بيتر؟
كل شيء تمام، وأنتي؟
الحمد لله تمام.
Good. صديقي عبد الرحمن.
يا هلا وسهلا، كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله.
الحمد لله.
الحين إيش تشربي؟
1 إسبريسو.
لو سمحت 1 إسبريسو.
And I will still be the first to tell you I have a very, very long way to go. This is literally just still the first chapter in the journey. But I do have to appreciate my efforts, because if I don't, I think I actually might cry. And so this is one of my biggest recommendations to anyone coming to the kingdom. Before you come, just have the mindset that it is actually an option and it's something that you can do, rather than, I think, like myself, you put up all these barriers and just think it's not even an option. It's not even for you. Never going to be done. I believe as expats, and speaking for myself, other people that I've spoken to as well, it just seems, learning Arabic, it just seems so out of the realms of reality for us. It seems so foreign, so different. You might have learned French at school or Spanish or German or something like that. But learning Arabic, that is just out of this world, next level, impossible. And one of the things as well is expats get by without needing it. So you don't actually need it in order to live here. And also, it is very, very, very difficult. I think it is like the second most difficult language in the world, second to Chinese. I think they're vying for first place. So you will be humbled, I guarantee you. So at this point, you might be thinking, why should I even bother learning if I can get by without it? So let me tell you. Firstly, and probably the most important thing, is you have this growing connection and sense of belonging with the community that you're in. If it's a word or two that you know, if it is like a butchered coffee order that you try, or a full-blown conversation with someone. People really appreciate someone making an effort. I'm sure you've had it when someone's tried to speak your own native language, right? And there's a charm to it. They may be struggling, but you try and help them. And so I think we all really respect those people who are trying and making an effort. It also shows a whole different level of respect, appreciation, and willingness to learn about the culture that you're in, the traditions, the culture, the language, the religion that you are a part of now. And also, this may be further down the line, but it can also help you in your everyday life, right? I remember I needed to change the oil in my car, and I'm thinking, how do I say this? So I go up to him and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this a go. ممكن تغير الزيت في سيارتي, which basically means, can you change the oil in my car? سيارتي. And the most amazing thing is he understood it and he got it. Maybe overcharged me, but that's besides the point. Like, being able to communicate in something that you thought was an impossibility was overwhelmingly rewarding. So I'm going to give you some tips on how you can start. First of all, be curious. You are immersed in a society all speaking Arabic, so you can ask at any point, whether you're asking friends or colleagues or just a random in a cafe. It helps build your knowledge. Next up, once you learn a word or two, practice. Practice saying them, practice getting better at them, and that will build your confidence with time. Number 3, I would say you need to make it relevant. So learn stuff that is actually relevant to you, rather than just swear words like people do in other languages, but make it relevant to you. So what is gonna help you on a daily basis? Is that ordering your coffee? Is that understanding certain words at work so you kind of can pick things up in conversations? Or even telling the delivery driver what your apartment number is. مثلا شقتي, my apartment, 1806. 1806. And also, don't stress too much about the grammar. I'm a perfectionist and I really struggled with this bit. If I'm doing something, it has to be right, it has to be perfect. I'm not just gonna throw some stuff out there. So I tend to overthink a lot, but I really encourage you, focus on learning lots and lots and lots of words, vocabulary, before worrying too much about the grammar, because the grammar is difficult. And also get a teacher. One of the mistakes I made when I first started was kind of like asking a friend to kind of tutor me, which they're not a teacher. They tried their best, but you need someone who understands the learning progressions that someone can take in learning a language, especially for someone like adults, older people. And once you start, here's a bit of motivation as to how you can continue going. Like for me, I treat it as I do my training in the gym. You know, you show up, you get it done even when you don't want to. And over time, step by step, you make these progressions. As they say here, habba habba, step by step. Now, for what you should be aware of before you start learning. First of all, it is a roller coaster. You're gonna have days where you're feeling fantastic, you're smashing it, things are just clicking. You're gonna also have days where you feel horrendous, like you've never had a lesson before in your life. Honestly, there's been so many times when I've wanted to say this, I give up, I'm stopping, but no, I can't. And I'll tell you why in a minute. And I remember when I first started, there's these debates around what you should do or how is the proper way to start. Now, there's formal Arabic, which is the original Arabic, which is spoken across all regions, right? And it's called Fusha. The problem with that is no one uses it on a daily basis. So whilst it's the sort of standardized Arabic, you know, it's the Quran is written in it, you know, all sorts of legal documents and all that kind of stuff are written in the formal Arabic. On a daily basis, you're not going to use it. And so the way I wanted to learn was I wanted to be able to use it in my everyday, right? I didn't want to be able to kind of like read documents and all this kind of stuff. I wanted to be able to interact with people. And so I decided to learn the Saudi dialect. And then there's another level to this. I decided to learn the regional dialect, because I mean, in Saudi, you've got different regions, right? And so the big debate is, do you learn the Najdi, which is like the Riyadh region, or do you learn the Hijazi, which is more the kind of Western region, so Jeddah, those sorts of areas. For me, I've kind of picked up whatever word. So I've got like a little bit of Fusha, I've got a little bit of Najdi, got a little bit of Hijazi, and it can be a bit of a mess. For example, like you've got the word now, like right now. So you've got Fusha for now, which is Al-An. You've got the sort of dialect in Riyadh, the Najdi dialect, which is Al-Hain. And then you've got here in Jeddah, and they say Dahain. So you can kind of understand how, that's just an example of one word, this can go for everything. And the Fusha is kind of like Shakespearean style. So if you were to speak it with people in your everyday, they would probably laugh at you. That's what I was told anyway. And then there's the other element of, do you just want to learn the speaking, or do you want to learn the writing and the reading? And for me, I kind of need to be able to see it and visualize it, and then that allows me to be able to pronounce it, right? You want to know the letters in the word rather than just the sound. That's how my brain works anyway. The writing is obviously a whole nother level, totally different.
So this is literally my first lesson going through the alphabet. This is half of the alphabet, and this is the second half or third. And you can kind of see what I was trying to do here with the English letters, right? I was trying to relate the English letters to the Arabic letters, which unfortunately does not work. And my attempt with the script is absolutely atrocious. But anyway, it was the first lesson I ever had. One of the things that helps are these kiddie books, right? These child books, where you have all the letters and then you can practice the letters, right? So this is Aleph, A sound. And then we've got Ba, we've got Ta, we've got Tha, and then it sort of goes on, right? And you're practicing all these funky looking letters, and man, like, I just remember my head being absolutely blown. But now I can see, I understand this, right? This is a lam, a ha, and a meme. So that is laham, which is meat. We've got laymoon, which is lam, ya, meme, wow, and noon, laymoon. What else do we have? Just to give you a bit more of an idea. We've got bananas, which is meme, wow, and za, zain, which is mouths. So you can kind of see it's very, very confusing. And to be honest, it takes a ton of time to go through, because this is what the letter looks like alone, for example. And then this is what it looks like at the beginning of a letter. And then it looks different in the middle of a letter, the end of the letter. So it's all just very, very intense, and it takes a lot of time to get your head around. And when I first started writing proper sentences, I would always write it out in how it sounded in English, and then I would write the Arabic. And then, as you can see, I mean, this is all verbs and all that fun kind of stuff. As you can see, as time went on, I was actually then just now writing the Arabic, right? And it's quite amazing at how quickly your brain adapt. Well, to be honest, it was very, very slow. How it adapts, and you can, start actually understanding all of this.
And if you speak English, there's going to be letters and words that are just feel impossible for you to say, because our mouths, our vocal cords, our throat, they're not used to saying these sorts of letters or sounds. So it's going to take some practice. For example, you've got kha, right? Like Khalid. You've also got ra, which is like rain. And then you've also got ain, which is like a throatal sound. So it takes practice. And you may also be asking, what is keeping me motivated to continue doing it, to continue learning? And for me, I'm very stubborn, and I literally just can't stop now. I'm not gonna have done 130 hours of lessons and then however many hours of private study time to then just be like, khalas, finished, I'm done, no more. That feels like such a waste to me. The only way forward is just to continue pushing on, little by little by little. I have no idea what the end goal is. It's not as if there's exams or if there's tests, so it kind of makes learning a little bit more fun and less pressured. But there's also a beauty to that, right? You're doing it to enhance your life, and it challenges you in a different way. It's also fun being a beginner at something again. And also the encouragement I get from other Arabic speakers is just phenomenal, whether in person, whether on social media. Again, like you being able to make an effort and making yourself vulnerable, people really warm to that and really just want you to succeed and also want to help you. I've also made some fantastic friends, usually baristas in cafes, as I give them my coffee order. For example, ممكن أبغى قهوة اليوم لو سمحت وموية غازية بارد. So that's gonna have coffee of the day, please, and a sparkling water. Cold. So there it is, my biggest regret and also a big lesson for you, should you be willing to learn from it. Good luck, and of course, if you do have any questions, you know where to find me.